Hi, Lee Phillips here. The question is, when do I need an LLC? And I've dealt with LLCs for a long time. There are a couple of two considerations, I guess, when you have an LLC. One, am I protecting an asset? Am I using it for asset protection? Two, is it a tax issue? And so you're going to answer one of those two questions. Let's answer both of them. If you're using it for asset protection, the question is, does the asset deserve the amount of trouble that you're going to go to set up an LLC? The trouble isn't big. I mean, you can set up an LLC, you go to the state website, get my LLC wizard, and it'll walk you through it step by step, no questions asked. So you can set up the LLC, and you know, if it's valuable enough to need the asset protection, the LLC is the tool that you're going to use. I can't give you a number of the number of dollars that the asset has to be worth in order to protect. But, I mean, people have large stock accounts, large crypto accounts, a piece of real estate, and those are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in many cases. Well, if it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe it would be worth protecting. Now, you're never going to get sued because you've got a stock account or because you've got a crypto account. You might get sued because you got a piece of real estate, but the LLC not only protects you if there's a lawsuit associated with the real estate. The reason you're using an LLC is it protects the asset, the crypto account, from what happens to you. If I get sued because I'm in an automobile accident, or I go bankrupt because somebody in the family gets sick, they're going to come and get this crypto account, unless it's in an LLC. If it's in an LLC, in most states, all states except Utah, you can declare bankruptcy, and they can't get this crypto account. The LLC has what we call charging order protection, and it protects the asset that's in the company from everything that happens around it. That's a big deal, guys. That's a really big deal. So if I invest in real estate and it goes bad, I don't want them to be able to get my $500,000 crypto account. So I'm going to put it in an LLC. Asset protection. The LLC protects you from what happens within the LLC, the company, but it protects the company assets, the crypto account, from what happens to you or what happens outside of the company. That's a big deal. So that's one. Two, taxes. The LLC is by far the most flexible tax tool that we have. You get to choose how it's going to be taxed. Is it going to be taxed as a sole proprietorship? My social security number, disregarded entity is what we call that one. Is it going to be taxed as a partnership? Well, I got to have a partner. Going to be taxed under subchapter S of the IRS code, under chapter C of the IRS code. Now, I can have a corporation taxed under subchapter S. That's an S corporation. Or I can have a C corporation, a corporation taxed under Chapter C of the IRS code. Guess what, guys? I can have an LLC taxed under Subchapter S or Chapter C. Same thing. The IRS, in fact, doesn't know whether you've got an LLC or a corporation. It doesn't know whether you're a partnership or whether you're an LLC taxed as a partnership. The LLC will give you the asset protection of the LLC, both the corporate shield and the charging order protection. Plus, it lets you choose how you're going to be taxed. The rule of thumb is you're going to be taxed as a partnership if it is passive income. That's rents. If you're making a ton of money in rents, you want it to be passive income. Well, it is passive income, but you want it taxed as a partnership. That way, everything passes through to you without a employment tax, self-employment tax. If you put it in a subchapter S, I have to take a reasonable salary and then the rest of it will pass through to me without the self-employment tax. But I have to pay self-employment tax on some of it. If it's a sole proprietorship or a partnership, then it just totally passes through to me. I want it to be a partnership just for audit reasons. The IRS has a lot harder time auditing partnerships. Not many agents can audit a partnership. Anybody can audit a self-employed individual, a sole proprietorship. So I cut my audit risk a little, but it's going to be passive income, sole proprietorship, or partnership. Now, if it's non-passive income, you're selling goods or services. You're a consultant. You're selling widgets, whatever. Then you're going to have it be taxed. You're still going to have an LLC for the asset protection and stuff, but you're going to have it taxed under subchapter S. That way we take the reasonable salary, and then the rest of it we distribute out so that it's not subject to the self-employment tax. So you're going to have an LLC if the asset's valuable enough to justify it, and you're going to have an LLC because it's the easiest thing to do with the tax aspects of it. I would certainly have an LLC instead of a corporation. So go to the LLC under subchapter S. Go to the LLC under a partnership. You don't want a partnership because each one of the partners is jointly and severably liable. You want the LLC, then nobody's liable. Makes a big difference. So this is Lee Phillips. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. Don't hold that against me. And I'm still talking about legal stuff. By the way, don't forget to comment on stuff. I answer the comments. And love us and like us and all that garbage. If you want to, we have an ebook on using trusts and LLCs. Get either one of those. We'll give you the link down below. They're free, no problem. Lee Phillips, when do I need an LLC?